Let's take advantage of the fact that you have 16 spools of thread on your machine and make some designs that have every letter a different color. Now let's talk about a couple important things to know about caps. The first thing I want you to know is that using a design that is approximately 2 inches tall is as tall as I like to go. Here to here is usually 7 inches. So kind of consider that when you have your design. Anything past 7 inches is going to go past this section. So maybe keep it at 4 or 5 or, depending on what you're doing, of course. I'm going to use some cap backing. So super important that you use cap backing. And I also like to use longer pieces because it helps the hat roll. It keeps it moving smoothly as it's riding on the machine. So I like a long piece somewhere between 10 and about 12 inches. In Design Shop, I'm going to show you how I set it up because I definitely started it in the center, which most people understand that when you're doing a cap, you want to start bottom and center because what you're doing is you're avoiding what naturally happens when you're sewing is that when you're pushing, you're changing the fabric as you're sewing. And so what you don't want to wind up with is a bubble here at the end when you're getting to the end of your design. So if you started in the center, at least it'll go this way and then it'll go this way. And they have a feature in Design Shop which allows you to do that with just a click of a button. So I'll show you how easy that is. So I'm going to hoop it. What I did was I pulled the sweatband out. So you're pulling the sweatband out because you don't want to sew on 2 surfaces. So you're just kind of pulling that out of the way. Try to make this bill as straight as you can because what that does is that keeps this line right here real easy to get it straight, to get your hoop in there straight. So you kind of want to just bend it a little bit. You can always bend it back later. So I have my cap gauge on here like this. I'm going to take my hoop and I'm going to slip it on. Now I'm going to put my backing down. I have extensive videos talking about hooping. I also have a video talking about the presser foot and adjusting your presser foot, which 2 things that I already did before the video, so I won't discuss those in this video, but I definitely have videos about it. So when you're hooping, there's a red line right here on this tab. You want to get the center of the cap in the vicinity, but by no means do you have to get it perfectly centered. You do not, because you can always move it at the machine. So just get it in the vicinity. All right, so I see the red line and I see the center of my cap because this cap doesn't have a center seam. Now I'm going to bring the strap over. Now, if you see some bubbling on the side of your cap, pull your cap down right here. You can kind of hold it down like this. All right, bringing the strap around. So the teeth are right where the cap meets the bill, so I'm very happy with that. Now I'm going to press this and twist this around, clip this on, and push this over. And now I have my cap hooped perfectly straight. And you also want to kind of tug on it a little bit. Make sure that when you tug on it, that it doesn't move because you don't want it to move in the middle of your design. So just kind of give it a little test, make sure it's not going to come off as you're sewing it. And all right, so let's put it onto the machine. I'm going to get this table out of the way. So basically you're going to go on sideways. You're going to line it up. You're going to press it in. It's going to clip in 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now, if your machine is new, I recommend that you check yourself by pulling at the top, pulling at the bottom. Make sure that it is absolutely clipped in. All right, so if this were the design that I needed to be very specific, that it be in the center, then what I could do is I could go to Tools, Maintenance, Head Timing, Bottom Center, and I can actually drop the needle. But this design, it doesn't matter. I just want to be somewhere close. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the tip of the needle and I'm going to bring my eye down to the center of this seam right here. And I'm going to determine whether I need to move it a little bit left or a little bit right. The laser is going to throw you off a little bit when you have something that is cushy like this because it's going to shine on an angle. So you kind of have to use your eye. So I'm looking at the tip of the needle, and I can see that I need to go over just a little bit. Okay, that makes me happy. Now the tip of the needle, when I took my eye down, it lined up with this center seam of the cap. All right, I already have my design upside down and I already chose my colors. I'm taking advantage of the fact that the machine has 16 colors, so I'm going to use 5 of them right now. Let me trace it out using the rectangle and the star. When you have a sequence of colors, so if you have a sequence of colors where maybe you have 25 letters, what I recommend you do is either pick 4 colors and keep repeating them, or 5 colors and keep repeating them. So it'd be too hard for you to get that many colors. So try to keep your color sequences to 4 and then just repeat it, or 5 and just repeat it. This happens to be 5 letters, I think, V-A-C-A-Y, yeah. So I'm using 5 colors that coordinate with the cap. So here we go. So 5 colors, and it took approximately 4 minutes on the machine. So I have 5 of these to do, and I did them in less than 30 minutes. I charge $15 per cap. All right, I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to rip out the tearaway cap backing. I don't see any other trimming that needs to be done. So I'm good to go. So take advantage of the fact that your machine has 16 colors. Look how fun and quick, easy way to make some money. I'm going to click on the screen and I'm going to type in V-A-C-A-Y. Then I'm going to say enter. Now I'm going to say center. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the font that I know I want to use. So I'd come here and you can start typing it in. It'll pop up for you. Now I'm going to put it on an arc. So right here where it says line, I'm going to come and select arc. Now if you want to adjust your letters just by clicking on the X and sliding them to however you want it to look. Now I want every letter to be a different color. So I'm going to click on the A till I get a box around it. Come over here, click a different color. Click here, click a different color. Colors don't matter until you get to the machine. Basically, I'm just telling the software that I want each one to be a different color. So now I have 5 different color changes. Now the last thing I want to do is, before I send this over to the machine, I'm working on foam. So because I'm working on foam, I want this to be a little bit wider. So I'm going to come to pull percentage and I'm going to make it a little bit wider. Now I'm going to double click and open up object properties, and what I want is I want it to start with the letter C, and then it'll do the A and then the V and then the A and then the Y. That's just because you're pushing the fabric, and if you start in the center, then the push of the fabric won't be as bulky. So right here on horizontal stitch order, I'm going to click this right here and I'm going to say OK. Now if I press play down here, you'll see that it is going to start at the C. So that's what you want. You want it to start in the center when you're doing caps and push its way out. Now I'm able to do that because I typed in lettering. Now I'm done. Can center it just to make sure it's centered because I played with it a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and send it to the machine.